Today, we are tackling the single biggest financial decision most of us will ever make. And let's be honest, it's one that's causing more anxiety right now than ever before.
So, can you actually afford to have kids? If you're even asking that question, I want you to know you are so not alone. It's a very real, very stressful calculation for millions of people. And with the cost of everything soaring, the reality is that for a lot of us, raising a child has kind of shifted from just being a life stage to feeling like a luxury good.
You've probably seen a number like this floating around. The US government famously calculated that it costs over 300 grand to raise a kid from birth to age 17. Now, that number is scary enough all on its own. But the truly wild part? In 2025, that number is almost certainly way too low. So what gives? Why is that old math totally broken? Well, it's because the specific costs of raising a child are inflating so much faster than everything else. This isn't your standard run-of-the-mill inflation. This is like a targeted inflation, hitting the exact things new parents need most.
Okay, so check this out. This idea of parenting inflation is really the key. While the cost of, say, a new TV might go down, the core things a kid needs, we're talking housing, healthcare, education, and especially childcare, the prices for those things have been rising at double, sometimes even triple the general rate. The old financial playbooks, they just don't work anymore.
You know, people stress constantly about the cost of diapers, wipes, formula. I'm going to tell you to stop. Seriously, diapers are a rounding error in the grand scheme of things. You can budget for diapers. What we really need to focus on are the massive structural costs that can totally sink a family's finances.
And that brings us to the real budget killers. I call them the two hidden mortgages, space and care. And believe me, they feel just like that in your bank account, a huge payment that hits every single month.
So first up is what I call the space premium. Before kids, you've got flexibility, right? A one-bedroom apartment, a small condo, no problem. But the second a child arrives, boom. You suddenly need more bedrooms, and you start caring a lot about school districts, which almost always means moving to a more expensive neighborhood.
And what does that actually look like in real dollars? Well, in today's market, that jump from a starter home to a family home can easily add $1,500, maybe $2,000 to your monthly mortgage. That's not just a bill, it is a massive drain on your ability to build any kind of wealth. Over 18 years, that space premium alone could cost you nearly $500,000.
And if the space premium is your first new mortgage, well, get ready, because childcare is your second. We call it the daycare mortgage. For the first 5 years of your child's life, you are effectively paying 2 massive housing bills every single month. It's brutal.
And just look at this comparison. It's absolutely wild. In a lot of states, the monthly cost of full-time infant care, we're talking $1,800 to $2,500 a month, is now more expensive than in-state college tuition. You're literally paying a university price for childcare years before they can even spell university.
This extreme cost creates this trap that's known as the salary wash. So imagine one parent earns, say, $50,000 a year. After taxes, they might bring home about $3,200 a month. Well, if daycare costs $2,500 and their commute is $500, they're working 40 hours a week to net $200. Mathematically, their job barely even pays for itself.
And this is exactly why having family support is no longer just a nice-to-have, it's a massive financial asset. If you're lucky enough to have grandparents willing to watch the baby even 2 days a week, they are effectively giving you a $30,000 annual tax-free gift. That free childcare is the hidden subsidy keeping so many families afloat right now.
But you know, the direct costs are really only part of the story. There's a third, hidden cost that can be the most damaging of all, and that's the price of a parent pausing their career.
When a parent, and let's be real, statistically it's more often the mother, steps back from the workforce to deal with that childcare crisis, the cost isn't just the salary they lose during those years. No, the real damage is to their long-term career path. They fall behind, and it is incredibly difficult to catch back up. Because it's never just about the paycheck, is it? It's about the missed promotions, the lost 401k matches from their job, the raises they never got, and most importantly, the lost compound interest on their entire career's growth. The financial ripple effects of that decision can last for decades.
In fact, some studies have shown that a multi-year career break can end up costing a parent up to 4 times their annual salary in total lifetime earnings. It is a staggering figure, and it proves that being a stay-at-home parent is an incredibly valuable, but also an incredibly expensive financial decision.
Okay, I know that was a lot of scary information, but the goal here isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you.
So let's pivot from the problems to the solution. It's time to build your financial battle plan.
Here is a simple 3-step protocol that anyone can follow. First, run a mock budget. So 3 months before a baby arrives, start living on your future post-baby budget. Put the estimated cost of daycare and diapers into a separate savings account. If you can't survive that trial run, you're not ready. Second, audit your space. Do you really need that 4-bedroom house right away? Delaying that move can save you a fortune. And third, buy term life insurance. It's affordable and it is absolutely non-negotiable for protecting your family.
But here is the good news. You have an incredibly powerful weapon on your side to fight these future costs, and that weapon is time. The second a child is born, an 18-year clock to college starts ticking. You can make that clock work for you, not against you.
So if you open a tax-advantaged 529 college savings plan and you contribute just $100 a month, just look at what happens. Thanks to the magic of compound interest, by the time they turn 18, that small, consistent investment can grow into a really significant amount of money that could cover a huge chunk of their education.
The key takeaway, the thing to remember is this: let the market pay for their degree, not your retirement fund. Starting early with small amounts prevents you from having to drain your own savings down the line right when you should be getting ready for your own retirement.
At the end of the day, children are the most expensive and the most rewarding thing you will ever invest in. The goal of all this planning isn't to turn a profit on your kids, obviously. The goal is to build a financial fortress around your family so that money stress never, ever gets in the way of the pure joy of raising them.
So the final question is for you. Knowing the real costs and knowing the strategies to fight back, how will you build a financial fortress to protect the joy of raising your family? Thanks for joining us. Now go build that fortress.